All right, we're sitting down here with my boys from Assault on the Living. Guys, go around the room, introduce yourselves, tell everybody what you do.
I'm Jamie and play guitar.
I'm Dustin, lead vocals.
I'm John, secondary vocals.
Good deal. Why don't you guys give a little bit of band history, tell everybody how your origins, how long you've been around.
We're old.
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
have so much gray. But no, we
Salt and pepper.
we've been around. Yeah. We've been around for playing music in the local scene for 20 years or so. We used to play in Traumacide together, me and Jamie. We did that from 97 to 2004 maybe. Did that. Stopped playing for a while. Various things. Went to school. Relocated for jobs, all the things like that, and then I ended up going away for some time, coming back, and ended up doing various other projects. He plays another project. Johnny does Here to Slay, and he's done various other things too. But we ended up getting back together and forming Assault on the Living, which is basically all the same members of Traumacide. With the addition of Chris Chapman on guitar, and we had Dan Young on second vocalist at the time. But yeah, we've been playing together for what now, 15, 16 years now together, me and Jamie.
Yeah, and then Assault. When the first album came out, it was like the first kind of Assault demo that we did of songs came out when it was like 2012.
Yeah,
but we were kind of
right.
playing for a couple years before that, and then just to kind of get warmed up again. It took a little while to get back into metal. Like at least for me, I was away at school for a while, so I was writing a lot of metal, but then seriously doing it again. So yeah, the demo came out in like 2012, and from there we did The Purge, and that's been like kind of the best thing I think. Best album I've been part of.
Oh, it's fucking devastating.
It was a good album.
That's
Just the production and the songs on it, like we all really, that was kind of like the big production.
Without question, some of the heaviest shit to ever come out of the 518 area, and we've had some heavy shit come out of here,
Yeah, and that's pretty much what we like to do in Assault. We're not really, virtuoso players.
We're not really trying to be the most technical.
We're not trying to be that technical. We just want to make crushing rhythm and kind of something that everybody in the band, we all come, we got black metal influences, death metal. I love old school classic metal, and that comes hardcore influence even in there a little bit too. So some people we get thrown in with deathcore. I think sometimes. I've heard that people hear us and like
but you're not up there in crooked hats.
So we're not really a deathcore band, but sometimes stylistically we might get thrown into that. But I think we're just trying to play heavy fucking shit, heavy metal.
People can lump and argue genres for days and days and days. There's so many genres and subgenres.
There's fucking more subgenres than there is ridiculous. Actual fucking genres.
We definitely don't call ourselves deathcore, but we we have breakdowns in our music. But we also have crushing.
People ask me what
metal.
we sound like. I'm just like, we're slam.
Yeah,
we're just
nice
going
easy
for
post face, man.
Fucking
going for the heavy.
Post death metal, slam techno, slam fucking wigger slam, whatever.
Exactly.
It's like polka slam.
Yeah,
polka slam. I'll go with that.
There's more subgenres than there are fucking bands. It's ridiculous, but yeah, that works out.
But yeah, me, Jamie, and Andy and Dusty have been playing together for like 16 years.
Yeah,
but,
Traumacide was really, I would say, like, kind of, Traumacide came out at an interesting time, like, Skinless was getting bigger.
Hardcore.
I remember when we first came out, Skinless wasn't even signed yet, Relapse yet.
Right.
Helldunder was playing, and there was kind of like a bunch of handful of bands, and there was kind of like there was like, it was coming out of like the hardcore old school hardcore scene from Albany.
Yeah, it was like a step. It was like a step above the hardcore. It was like a little bit faster,
it kind of transitioned to metal.
Whatever, you know what I mean?
There was like kind of like more death metal coming out. Skinless was like the big thing, and like
we're all friends with them guys.
Section 8 had broken up, and we were coming out with kind of like we were kind of influenced by hardcore, but also we were listening to Dying Fetus, and we were listening to Skinless, and we were listening to all kinds of stuff.
Heavier tuned bands for sure.
So I felt like Traumacide we almost were doing the same thing of Traumacide, just in a different time. But I think Assault and Living's upgraded a little bit from that. You know,
it's a little bit more mature. We were young kids then,
But sometimes I pop that old Force Fed album in, the old Traumacide. I'm like, damn,
it was good.
It might not be played well on that recording. I hear some things now, but I'm like, damn, it's heavy though.
If you went and redid it, man, re-recorded it, man, it'd probably be sick.
Yeah,
it'd be sick. Especially with the
Yeah.
production.
But
I
we're
mean,
old. We're old, to say the least. We're fucking old men, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long time ago. You're always going to pick
Feel
yourself
like I am.
apart.
Yeah.
You know.
But I mean, the thing that we hear, like we listen to it sometimes, like damn, it's still is heavy. It still sounds heavy to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's still relevant.
yeah, it's
Oh, absolutely.
and the
as far as
Traumacide
the sound
Facebook
goes.
page is still. I mean, I haven't even done anything.
A lot
to
of
it.
like
I just
Japanese
put it up
and,
there so
you
people
know,
can.
overseas
Yeah.
stuff. A lot of those guys.
I put it
are
up there
there
because we
just
still have.
Well, that's
you know,
because everywhere has good taste, but
Right.
the states.
right.
Everywhere outside the states has good taste.
Yeah.
We send a lot of stuff overseas though,
Yeah.
like packages
Yeah.
and stuff. Like people are really
Yeah.
digging it over there,
And-
so it's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at the billboards around, every other country,
Right.
they've always chock full of metal. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
good shit. And
Yeah, I mean,
in the states, you get fucking pop shit shoved down your
Yeah.
throat.
yeah.
So
I mean, the craziest thing is that if you go on YouTube and see the Demo Birgir, that Northern Lights concert that they did.
I haven't checked that out.
And it's on Norwegian national television. It's this huge satanic like
awesome,
curtains
dude.
with like a black choir next to him. That the was it Oslo
crazy.
Symphony Orchestra played with him.
That
is
It's like the
awesome.
most insane production I've ever seen, and it's
Yeah.
on Norwegian national television. That
Never
shows
here.
you right there. Like
Yeah.
they're
Never here.
even though it's like they're supporting.
I think
their-
I saw a
their
black
culture,
metal
they're supporting something
deodorant
that not
commercial
everybody likes,
recently.
but
Did
they're
you see
seeing
that?
it as a
I know, you
valid
saw that
musical
shit.
statement.
yeah.
I saw that shit
So
too.
it's interesting. Yeah, it definitely is different in the States. Metal doesn't get the same notoriety.
No.
We've been trying
But-
to tap into that audience over there though, like metal radio, European stations.
Well,
you
yeah.
know,
I mean, that's
different
the,
things
how many
getting out
how many
there.
bands from the
We were-
518 area alone have
Yeah.
toured overseas?
We were even on a split, or no, I'm sorry, we were on a. What is it? The Pain Factory. We
Oh,
were
Pain
on,
Factory.
We were
Yeah.
supposed to be like on a split, and they took our
I don't know
music.
if it
and
even happened.
we never
Did it
even
actually
got
happen?
CDs
Never
or
got
nothing,
some
but
CDs.
they
Like,
sent
when
us
you sent
pictures
them money,
of
you're
it.
like,
and-
all right, man. I was like, I think
hilarious.
this is a scam, but I'm gonna try it. And we didn't hear anything. Then we heard something from him. He sent us some pictures.
We've been trying to
and then,
get it out
and
of
then
there,
a CD copy surfaced somewhere online. We're like, holy crap, maybe it did happen. Like, so out there somewhere. It's
I mean, the name of the band's on the back of the disc.
Yeah.
You know.
You know,
It was
all
from the
these
old
different bands
demo.
too, from Germany,
Yeah.
Lithuania, Poland,
Yeah,
Australia.
there is something interesting though about the whole underground thing here. It's like
You can Google that shit. Pain
in
Factory,
America,
yo.
like actually with Dusty, our drummer Dusty, we have this conversation sometimes about like metal underground in America and stuff like that, and it's almost kind of like you take a band like Lamb of God, they kind of broke through to that higher level,
Yeah.
but they're still playing pretty heavy stuff. I know a lot of people from the extreme metal community look down on Lamb of God, whatever, but they still have kept a pretty heavy element to their music, even though they've
Absolutely.
got 2 Sony records. I mean.
Yeah.
But then there's like it's almost like for a band like us, like we're not going to get to that level. We're playing stuff that's too extreme for that. You know what I mean? In
Well,
a certain sense.
I'd have that conversation with people too. They're
Yeah.
like, well, talking about metal, like with a non-metal fan,
Right.
like, oh, well, they're never going to get on the radio. And well, they don't fucking want to be on the radio.
Right, and it's like
That's not the place.
There's
for
a
it.
lot of brutal bands, though,
There's
they're getting
something-
exposure on
There's
the radio
something
now,
awesome about
especially.
the underground
Yeah,
element of
which is
something
weird.
that
But
when
cool.
you get to that level, you lose. Maybe you lose when you're getting
yeah.
to that big money
Yeah.
corporate kind of influence coming down on you. Like
'Cause you
being
get
in
on
that
an
underground
American
level.
record label, then
Yeah.
automatically you're watering your shit down.
right?
That's just
So
it's how it
if
goes.
So that's why there's a reason why extreme metal stays in the underground.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
there's a
Well,
reason
it's
why.
because you a lot of the times is you're writing it, man. You're feeling it. You're the one creating it. You're not in some high price studio where you got the production guys. Hey, don't do that. Try this.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Try this. And actually, you don't even realize it, but it might be telling you, hey, dumb this down a little bit, dumb that down a little bit. And you're like, oh yeah, it sounds good at the time. And then 2 weeks later, when you get the
Well,
masters,
yeah.
you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they have
You know,
marketing and
at
stuff.
that
to
point,
it.
it goes from being, a passion project to having record execs being like, "This is
Became
we're gonna make money, and this is what you're gonna do to make money."
Yeah.
That's how it comes down to that.
Yeah, but that's the way we look at it, and there's stuff that's a lot more.
We could make more
extreme
money
than
if we
us.
all just had cry shields and we just all
I
just
mean,
had that little patch
Well,
of hair.
I've been
So I'd
wanting
be
to
like,
for a while.
don't
Get you guys
look
to
at
wear
me.
cry shields on stage,
You know,
even if it's just a wig. Fuck it, why not?
fuck it, dude.
a cry shield or a jizz
I could
shield?
get
Which
away
is-
with it. You could too.
Well,
but
I
you
think
guys
they're
couldn't.
both one and the same. And all that being said, here we go. We're gonna kick off this right now with the opening track off Assault's new album and the title track. This is The Global Purge. All right, everybody, that was Assault on the Living with the Global Purge. Now, take me through writing process as far as...
Well, it's changed quite a bit over the years.
I'm sure it has.
You know, originally we used to just get together, we'd jam, we'd write stuff kind of like on feeling, on a whim. We'd have time to like kind of warm up and jam stuff. Now, a lot of the stuff is more, it's pre-done. Actually, he'll actually do a lot of the stuff at home and come to practice with ideas and everything laid out,
Nice.
you know, with a certain drum pattern or whatever. And
Yeah,
we'll try to imitate it, you know.
We still definitely rely on like kind of like the jam session part to kind of add our own,
Absolutely.
you know, because I rely on Dusty's drum creativity to like add things that I never could have imagined. But
Yeah.
when I'm writing riffs now at home, like instead of just jamming out with myself, I can, you know, throw a riff up on my computer and put a sick drum beat with it, and I can really kind of feel that part more and expand on it more intricately, you know.
Yeah.
And then I bring that kind of, it's kind of like almost like you're thinking of like a drawing like into a painting, like you're doing a sketch,
Yeah.
and then you're making into the painting later. So
Just
it's,
bringing,
that's
bringing
kind
a
of,
skeleton and then
Yep.
seeing who's
but
going
I
to
can
add
at least
what
show
spice
these
to it.
right. I can show these guys a better skeleton of the song, and we can pick out like, wow, that riff's really sick, or this set of riffs is awesome, and then we know kind of this is what we want to work with. And then
Dusty
I kinda
always
rely
has his
on-
own flair to it anyway, too. when
And
you get there.
Chapman writes riffs too.
Yeah,
He throws
absolutely.
in his ideas to things, and Dusty writes. You know, I expect that Dusty's going to do something to the drums that, you know. I mean, I'm just sitting there. I'm an idiot guitarist trying to, you know, to make a sick sounding double bass riff, but he comes up and does something way sicker with it. So
Yeah.
He
Then it
actually
becomes- then it
writes songs. He's actually written songs purely off drum beats. You
Yeah.
know, he gets that look in his eye, and next thing you know, he's going crazy, and we're like
Yeah.
looking at each other like, oh shit, and we'll just, you know,
yeah,
a lot of stuff's
that's
written
when
on
it becomes
improv.
that's when it becomes you know, truly something unique, is when like
Right.
the riffs I write at home become something more when he kind of puts his own flair drums on it.
Right, right.
And that's kind of the Global Purge, I'd say, was a handful of the songs were written purely in the practice room with just kind of like writing riffs and jamming, and then kind of like the second half of the album was written more using the program more, bringing skeletons of songs up and stuff like that. And the cool thing is it allows me to almost write an entire song
Yeah.
and kind of bring a whole piece up, you know, that has kind of different parts, and you can see how things interconnect. And
Helps me
we
too, just for like as far as like piecing vocals in. I'll have a skeleton or like a karaoke track.
Yeah.
Like what I'm actually going to be singing over. Not going to be exactly the same, but for the most part, the the skeleton of it is the
Yeah,
same.
you get the basics.
And then,
of it
and then
down.
also
Me
we
and
can go
him
back
both.
and be like, we forget something. He can sometimes, a lot of times, I send these guys the riffs, and I'll be like, oh, what was that one riff? And he'll be like, yo, here it is, it's right here.
I'll be able to
Like,
pull it up, right,
We
right.
can listen to
Nice.
it. We're like, oh yeah, that thing's sick. So
But
it helps to
It helps
yeah.
a lot.
Well, speaking of the new album, what are you hoping that people take away from it after listening to this?
Well, I kind of think that like a lot of the tracks on the album, they're different, but they all deal with like the end of humanity, or the elite kind of go underground, to escape the approaching,
The Purge.
the purge, basically, exactly. And then we have ideas, basically to expand off of that. But a lot of the songs and stuff on the album, as far as lyrically, are basically about the government testing new sicknesses or new diseases that they cultivate in a lab on a third world country, and basically talks about our world and just how we're assaulted every on a daily
Every fucking
basis.
time we turn around.
Yeah.
When it comes to our
Right.
children,
Yeah, I
when it
think
comes
the
to
name-
our rights.
The
when it
name
comes
Assault on
to-
the Living, like it kind of has a zombie flair to it,
Right.
which is kind of cool too. There's like an old zombie horror movie, like
Oh, yeah.
some of our original artwork kind of had that. Almost like we did that one shirt with the chick screaming, was like a
Yep,
Night of the Living
yep.
Dead almost rip off, like kind of thing. But we really kind of see it more conceptual, like the Assault on the Living is kind of like even in the original demo, Infection of the Masses, kind of like
Yeah.
these different things that assault living things on Earth, like hostility.
Like
and
he
really
was just saying too, like John was just saying, on the kids, diseases,
Yeah,
rights,
right.
Exactly.
fucking.
and it's really us.
pedophiles about a pedophile,
Yeah, it's
destruction
really us
of all
ourselves,
pedophiles
though.
on
In
the
the
planet.
end,
you know.
it's humanity itself. We're destroying the globe, so it's like
Cold Dead Hands
this-
talking about the
Yeah.
seizing of your Second Amendment rights.
Right.
Can't take our
Yeah.
weapons, so that they all deal with like things that are going on in the world, but people they don't see every day, or it's not on CNN because
Yeah.
So when you hear when you
It's
put
not
the
pleasant
album
to
in,
talk about.
when you put the album in and you hear that ominous voice in the beginning,
Yeah.
that was kind of like almost like this vision of like this kind of like darkness just telling humanity that you have lost your chance. You have done everything, you've kind of like wronged all life on this
Yeah.
globe in a way, kind of taking it to that next metal element of, darkness,
Ideas.
We
but that we tried
absolutely
to-
deserve every bad thing that happens to
Yeah,
us.
I mean, it's
I
kind of like
agree.
envisioning that, like,
Yeah.
so like this kind of guy behind you here. We kind of like tried to, let's bring this guy an image. He's holding the burning globe in his hand and saying,
Yeah.
"Humanity, you have lost your chance." Like a force way bigger than us, like some kind of
that could be
darkness from the
perceived
universe.
as anything though. Like a new species,
It's really symbolic, yeah.
a new species that inhabits the world after the purge that we have to encounter.
When time comes to pay,
you
man,
know,
the price
or
is going to be
whatever.
hefty. That's
It's all
for sure.
it gets real broad at that
For damn
point. But
sure.
Yeah.
But it's
Absolutely.
all
Yeah, he's like he's holding it in his hand, laughing. Like that's very
Conceptually,
I think-
that's kind of
what
the
I like
idea
about
we're
that
going
too
for,
is it's very it's a very like classic metal concept.
Yes.
Like the demon, like
Yeah.
like coming from like Iron Maiden or something.
I was just gonna say like Eddie holding the crystal
Right.
ball. You know.
Yeah. So that I like that too because I like that classic metal element
Yeah,
too.
man.
Even though we're doing heavier, newer style modern metal.
Speaking of some classic metal, we got a local band that does some more that style metal. But right now we're gonna cut away real quick and play Straight Through Sanity out of Albany,
Nice.
New York. They got The Witch's Grave. All right, that was Straight Through Sanity with The Witch's Grave. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Aaron from Straight Through Sanity. Next to my buddy Jeff sitting over here, Aaron is probably the biggest supporter you will ever find in the 518 area. There's,
Aaron,
yeah,
yeah,
there you
he's
go.
the man.
There's I can't remember many shows not seeing him at, and I'm pretty sure he was at 2 shows at the same time a few times. That's how much you saw this fucking kid out. So there you go, Aaron. Props to you. Rest of you guys in the 518, take fucking notice and learn a lesson. All right, so get back into you guys. How do you think you have progressed as a band from the time you first put that demo out in 2012?
From concept to now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think musically, I feel like that 2012 demo was kind of like, for me, and I think for some of the guys in the band, was kind of like getting back into the flow, like playing in a heavier metal band again, and some of those songs I look at, they're good, but it's kind of like I feel like now we're way more kind of like I feel we've come a long way since that time, especially from the Global Purge till now. Even the song, we have some new songs in the works that. Yeah, we're kind of just a little more sophisticated in the way we're, putting the
Definitely
songs
more,
together.
yeah.
The riffs
Nice.
we're writing, we're being a little more choosy about,
Definitely
way
a lot
we're
more
writing
aggressive, a
things
lot
and stuff like
faster.
that, yeah.
A lot.
Nice.
The slams are heavier. Our equipment's better. Everything about our tuning,
Yeah.
our sound, everything is better.
Yeah, basically,
than
I mean,
the
it's
last time.
kind of like the same old. Like we're just trying to get heavier and faster and more.
You think any of the writing process has changed bringing John in? I don't know how much.
Yeah, I mean,
How much you've done writing
well,
with John so
John
far?
actually, when we lost our other vocalist, Dan, we were in a position where we kind of had to find someone to fill in for the show.
Yeah, 'cause you had the
We
show
had-
with
we had
Whitechapel coming
Yeah, we had a
up.
Whitechapel show coming up. Huge props to Dan. Dan did an amazing job with us for a lot of years, and we all still love him very much. But we've been
unfortunate set of events.
we,
Things happen the way it was.
right. But we ended up making a decision. We tried some people out, and Johnny, was definitely the best fit for us. He's got amazing range, and he's been doing vocals now in his other band for a long time.
I remember Here to Stay. I had booked Here to
Right.
Stay before.
I like his energy live, and that was another reason why we, as a band, chose him, because we want, if we have to we have to find somebody else, and we have to basically try to outdo what we were doing before. I know nobody in the band ever wanted to take a step back, so we
And
we
you don't
love his
want
energy.
you don't want to get someone that's like doesn't have the energy.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's very,
Yeah.
talented vocally, very talented vocally, and just him as far as I can't really describe what he kind of sounds like, but maybe it's a mix between the dude from Suicide Silence, like Mitch. The highs are amazing like that, and he can go low too, just as low as me. So
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's fun. I mean, right now we're just kind of feeling each other out. As far as the new lineup, we haven't done any other shows but the Whitechapel gig, but it would definitely came out good,
Yeah.
and.
Speaking of that,
Right
we have
now.
a couple traveling shows coming up.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up in the works.
Good shit. Good shit.
Long Island,
Yeah, I was pissed
Boston.
I had to miss that Whitechapel show. It was
Well,
first local show of you guys. I
Dude,
missed it.
I hear you. It was fun.
Forever,
It was
you know.
packed. I think
Oh, it was a blast.
we sold a shitload
My
of
first
merch.
time on that stage, so
Oh,
that was a
yeah,
blast.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good
I
time.
loved every second of it, man.
Good time.
Nice.
Yeah, that was quite a first show. We were like kind of
Yeah.
throwing Johnny into the, we were just throwing him out there like
Right.
first show, Upstate Concert Hall, like throwing him into.
man.
Had you done any bands other than Here to Stay prior to that?
I was with another band, These Waking Eyes. They wound up becoming Betraying the Martyr. Eventually on down the road. I was with those guys for probably 4 or 5 years. We had only played a couple of gigs. Then my cousins got in contact with me for Here to Stay, and we pumped out one demo as them, and then we played a whole bunch of shows, and it just kind of got stale on us, I think, for a
I think I
little
saw
bit.
you guys at the place down in Troy.
Oh yeah,
El Dorado. No, Dublin's. Maybe?
Dublin's. Yeah, that was
I
like
seen them at Dublin's, and
That was one of my-
I was like, that was the first time I seen them.
I think I had them at Trick Shot
Yeah, I think
three
we played-
times,
yeah.
and then you did your last show was at Amsterdam, right?
Yep.
Outdoors there.
Yep.
Right.
It just got stale for us for a little bit, I think, but we took some time off and we just kind of reevaluated ourselves. And I mean, we're making a comeback together now, but I mean that's it. I got so limber. That's where I got all my practice from, man. Is just
Well,
just jamming, man, jamming with other
I
bands.
look forward to finally catching you with these guys, because I wanted to get to the
Yeah.
first one, but life happens and all that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no doubt.
And I think
Everything
what we're
goes
trying
on.
to do now with the new stuff, I think his vocal range will really fit with that too. So
Nice.
Oh, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
step up in the level of insanity, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
definitely
yeah, we
gonna
have
be
like
The
one-
newer songs that we're doing right now
Yeah,
that we've been
say,
writing
yeah.
are
We
definitely.
have one song that's like written that
It's
is
done,
in
done.
the works for vocals and it's musically written.
Right.
And then we got a bunch of other sets of riffs that are becoming songs. So I think we're
Right.
looking to do a 4-song EP.
If the rest of the
coming
album
out soon.
turns out like that one track that we got done now, we'll be
Yeah.
in real good shape.
Yeah, we
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like taken some. I don't know. Should we talk about the maybe some of the content of going that way? I don't know. But
yeah,
we're-
absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, we're kind of taking. I wouldn't say it's still us, but we're kind of like experimenting some different tunings, a little bit lower, but still trying to keep that driving metal tone that we have. Kind of
Yeah.
like we love double bass. I mean, you just can't get away from it. It's like
Yeah.
an addiction. But yeah, we're kind of like experimenting a little bit with the riffing style, like trying to push our boundaries a little bit, push into some new. I don't want to just make a new set of songs that sounds like the old album. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So-
I mean, that's where I noticed one tricky thing is that, people, they want to expand, but then, when they expand their horizons, then they wind up like a Damage Plan.
They step
You
too
know,
far out.
Right.
They wind up with shit like that. And,
Yeah.
One thing for sure about this is this album this time around, it's gonna have more guitar, like atmospheric soundscapes as far as like
there's a
we're
little
gonna
bit
be
more.
utilizing the two guitars a little bit more.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're gonna utilize the 2-guitar thing. Yeah, there's gonna be some more kind of like I don't know.
And there's
call
definitely
it
gonna
that,
be
like,
some
atmospheric kind of
some
noise.
sick, cool vocal work
you know,
as well.
And,
Yeah.
there's gonna be
deal.
a lot more going on, and like there's gonna be more aggressive for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's actually
No,
Silence.
we're experimenting with some tempos too, like kind of like stuff that's like maybe faster than we've played before, but also stuff that's kind of more droning and slower
Yeah.
than what we've done before too. So because like
Awesome.
I feel like the Global Purge was like kind of all in that certain tempo range.
Time signature.
Yeah, there was like a certain time signature to that whole album, which gave it a cool packaged feel.
Yeah.
This album, these 4 songs we're working on, kind of some
Definitely.
slower.
more diverse.
Well,
for
that's
sure.
that's a
Stuff
good thing
going
with
on,
the
too,
with extreme music is that you have many ways you can go and push the boundaries and still remain, true to your roots or whatever you want to call it, and not piss people off by
This next one's definitely gonna have
We're just
some
trying to
drums,
evolve a little bit, not become an
Yeah.
entirely new species. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And
Structure.
that's always
Yeah,
that's
as long as we
always
have
good to
as long as we
keep
have
doing
Dusty
that.
on the drums there, he loves crushing
Oh, yeah,
double
man.
bass, so he's just gonna
Andy, don't forget
blasting,
Andy.
yeah.
Andy makes it. He's a huge
he was,
part of our sound.
He was
for
adding
sure.
in some crazy bass twangs to this one that we had. He
This
loves
dude
the
can come
twang.
off the mountain and not jam with us for a month. And
He
come
just-
down
Just
and
come down and be
just
right
be
on
Just
point.
slinging
Ready,
ga-
man.
he's
with
slinging
ideas, everything. Like he's a huge part of our
He just
sound. And
starts
like
slinging gallons
even
right out
he,
of
yeah, he hears things, especially even in the recording studio too. Like he's just got a really good ear for like the tone and if something's out of tune or if he missed a note or anything
actually,
like that. He's
before we didn't mention him. Andy
He's on
actually
point.
is.
He's
Yeah,
on
when we
point.
were talking about the writing process, Andy's actually
a big
part of it because like the song isn't finished
until he
until
listens
Andy
to it.
listens to it, and he's gonna say, we should, these couple notes here.
Yeah.
I don't like them. Yeah, I want to do that. He'll like literally get into like the real. He's more kind of nitpicky. He's probably got the best musical ear in the band. I think he'll hear stuff that like you'll be like, what if we change the order of this notes around and like change this to this? Like he'll kind of like put the finishing
Nice.
touches
The
on
polish.
things, and
Yeah.
then he puts his
it's
crazy
it's always
face.
good to have it that way and not one person being like, okay, this is what we're playing, learn it.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Yeah. So we kind of like all our songs
Fucking
go through
Andy.
this like process like that. It's not like
Fucking Andy.
set out, but it happens. Like he'll eventually hear something in the song and he'll be like, "I think we should change that." We might have been playing it that way for a month, but
Yeah.
I trust his judgment on that because I know he's got a really good ear. So
Good shit.
Yeah.
Well, let's skip ahead and get back into a song off of the Global Purge right now. This is Assault on the Living with Cold Dead Hands.
Assault on the living
right, that was Assault on the Living with Cold Dead Hands. Now, I want to get into some crazy shit that's happened at shows that you've seen. Just anything you want to talk about that you like. But before we get into that, why don't you tell everybody some of your influences, like personal influences and maybe bands that influenced the band. Yeah.
So what do you want to talk?
I mean, as far as me, I mean, I'm influenced by, I love Meshuggah, I love Gojira, I love, atmospheric shit like that. But I'm also into, like, crushing speed grind, like Origin,
Faceless.
Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, as far as, like, low tune stuff, like, I'm into, like, Humanity's Last Breath and, like, Bermuda, some of those bands that are just super heavy, but, I'm into everything. I mean, I can even listen to a little country. That's just because of my girl, but
yeah. Well, I'd say too. I always kind of go back to Oceano when I want to. I just really like their style and kind of like that atmosphere, kind
a
of
lot of atmospheric tones,
dark sounds that they have in their music. Like I love like the Depths album that they put out, and then the new one they put out too. Like,
yes,
I know for some reason
Descendants.
I've read some reviews where people
Sick.
are kind of shitting on the new album, but I think it's an awesome piece for what it is. Like, it's just heavy,
production's amazing.
slow, dark, ominous stuff.
Oh, it's sick,
just,
dude.
You got to come to
Plenty
that
of
album.
VS, plenty.
Yeah, it's
so
massive.
Plenty of structure.
Oceano, I would say,
I love Oceano.
is someone like that. I look to them for like that kind of like real. I like their kind of like. There's like a certain kind of like. I can't even explain it really. It's like an ominous sound, even in the chords they use. Like I really like that kind of like the sound that they have. Humanity's Last Breath kind of has that too.
Yes.
And always like the greatest Meshuggah has always been. I wouldn't say they're like a direct influence like stylistically. Like I know a lot of bands have taken like kind of like straight up taken riffs almost from Meshuggah, but I just see them as like kind of like what they're doing, just kind of like this crushing polyrhythmic rhythm like that I love about their style. That
yeah.
I like. We're kind of influenced like that by a little bit because we are kind of more of a rhythm based band too, like crushing rhythm and stuff like that. So they're an influence in that way.
Polka.
Yeah. But but I also listen to bands like Amon Amarth. Like I love just
King
straight
Diamond.
melodic metal.
I love King
like,
Diamond.
I love that too. Like, and what else can we say?
I like. I think.
Dude, Suicide Silence is one of my favorites, especially
Wow.
back when they had Mitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of extreme,
Yeah.
extreme fast shit, like New Infant Annihilator,
Yes.
and like,
Ridiculous.
like I'm not really into that, obviously the lyrics and shit, but
Dude, the sound
penetrating
they have is just
fucking.
ridiculous.
But yeah, I mean, as far as musically, they're incredible. Even if they
Rings
are
of Saturn.
fucking blasting eggs off their chests and
Rings of Saturn.
Rings
Taking
of
loads
Saturn,
and shit on their
just
cheek.
Listen to one of their CDs is incredible. I mean, so musically talented. Like, where does this even come from? How did that get in your brain?
Yeah, and
And
I'm
then
always going
translate
back
to this.
yeah.
I don't know.
I always am throwing in older stuff too. I get into older stuff and
Merc Scott.
just older
older
death
black
metal. I
metal
mean,
shit.
let me see what have I been listening to.
Blood
lately.
Runs Black. Dude, I used to love Blood.
Yeah.
As far as
Blood Runs
locally,
Black.
as far as local bands, I don't know who that one is.
Whoops.
As far as local bands though, that I listen to is like I listen to Tyrannize, I listen to Killing Condition.
Yeah.
I'm into like a lot of older hardcore too. I love Cutthroat. I love the older Cutthroat shit.
Oh,
My
yeah,
boy Ryan sings for them.
absolutely.
I used to love that shit a lot.
He Breathes Rage.
Yeah, I used to listen to all that stuff.
Love that CD, man.
There's another band, I used to love them, Declension. They're not together anymore, but, Jared.
Remember
love you,
Execution
Jared.
Style?
Love you, brother. Yeah, I like Execution Style, too.
Dude, I had one of their cassette tapes back in the day, and then that was like,
And the fact that they're still jamming is pretty cool,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and I think we can say like if we're going back into the old stuff too, and locally and older, like when we were going to shows when I was 14 or 15, going into QE2.
yeah,
I mean, seeing Section 8, Cutthroat,
Yeah.
Dying Breed,
Warzone, Trip Face.
Disciples of Berkowitz, and when we saw those bands there, it was like kind of like I was playing guitar in my room or my back room. I had
It's
music.
inspiring for youth, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember
sure.
being there
Big
even
time.
with Dusty, my drummer at the time, and we're just being like, "This is what we want to do.
Yes.
we need
That's
to make a
that's
band."
why
Like,
it's
you know
so
what I mean?
important to get yourself, especially if you're going to be a musician, you're trying to get your shit out there for everybody. You want to try and get in front of those type of audiences where you're playing in front of 15, 16-year-old kids because they're like looking up, like they're not. They might be hearing this for the first time, right? And it just adds to it. You're inspiring them. They're seeing you and they're just like, wow.
They're going home picking up their axe,
exactly. They're like, I can go home and I can do this. Like,
in terms of the scene,
like guys our age are all fucking set in our ways.
Right.
Hey, check out this new band.
I almost feel like a little bit.
It's all right.
The kids are a little bit more receptive to it. They buy the merch. They if they really like you, they'll support you for years and years. And so I think that's one thing we've been able to accomplish too. Like last couple of years, we've been able to kind of put ourselves in a position where we can like play in front of those audiences where you're playing in front of anywhere from 5 to 700 people. We played our release party with Skinless and Stigmata and All Out War, who I haven't seen in damn over a decade, man. So we played with them and Tyrannize as well. They played that show, but Skinless and to be able to play with Skinless again, we played with them in Traumacide. We released our Traumacide Wasteform split with them years and years ago. It was the last time we actually played.
That was got
the
Saratoga Winners.
Before that place burned down.
That was one of the greatest shows.
I still fucking lose a piece of me every time.
Every time I drive by, man.
Me too.
I
See them bricks sitting there, them cinder blocks.
Yeah.
I got a
Scumbag.
zillion VHS
I'm glad we
tapes.
got to play there a few times.
I want to get them
never
put
did.
on VHS tape.
Never got to
or
play
get them on
it.
a CD. You know what I mean? All those shows because I got a ton from there.
Nice.
We did a benefit for my buddy Mike Butler's mother there. For like over 1,000 people were in there. Years and years ago, I put it on for Mike's, for Mike Butler's family.
I used to sneak out Friday nights and hitchhike up there from Waterville, man.
Awesome.
Saratoga Winners, man.
Nice.
Not too far away.
Speaking of crazy shows like that, get into some show stories. What's some crazy shit you've seen happen at a show you've played, been to, whatever? Just any fun, fucking shocking, crazy
I
stories.
think some of those Sammy shows down there that we played have been pretty fun. Like because the stages.
Well, you're only about this. You're only about this high
We're
off
about
the
to do
floor.
one of them in October.
Oh, you
but
almost
the
get
stage is literally only
back-fisted.
The stage is
awesome.
literally 6 inches off the floor, and either playing guitar and singing, you're pretty much either standing up on the stage or you're right down. But the kids are awesome there, and they just go nuts. They'll come right up on stage or put their arm around you while you're jamming out, playing the song, and they go nuts. So that's always been fun. So
It's cool.
Sammy's.
It's a cool vibe down there. You're right on the ocean.
Yeah.
The kids will be running across the pit doing the fucking the crab and doing all kinds of crazy moves, all the crocodile and shit. They're like, so it's like.
I like when they
What's
throw
awesome
out
to see-
props and
you know
stuff,
what reminds
man.
me of that place though is like back what we were talking about is like when I was teenager going to QE2 and you just come out of there and you're just sweating and you're just like had the time of your life, and that's what some of these kids are doing there, and that's I think that's what scenes need. You need that younger crowd in there just going nuts when you're in high school. You don't care about anything. You're just totally into music. I think.
It's important.
What else?
Definitely is.
There's some other.
You don't wanna have the scene.
I've seen.
when you were up on stage with us,
797.
Yes,
We played
those
with
are always
Straight
good
Jacket
times.
and Shadows Fall. Played at 797 back in the day.
Oh wow, yeah.
And
wow.
I remember my boy Grant got into an argument with somebody, and we were all, everybody was bugging out. Grant was up on the car, and he's like, "Wasteform, motherfucker!" And he kicks this dude's window in and shit. It was like, remember, it was like a big brawl outside there. I think a couple weeks later, somebody got shot there, and they closed the club down.
That was an awesome club.
But
though.
that club was dope. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, I
Shadows Fall
remember
played
hearing
there.
good things about that. I never made it out to 797.
Yeah, the place was
but I've
awesome,
heard
though. The place
good
was
things
awesome.
about it.
But
It didn't last
that shit, I've seen countless, drunken,
Shenanigans.
shit shows running around, tons. But
I love when they put out props and stuff, though, man. I went to, was there one, I don't recall who was playing. I think Tentacles might have played this night, actually. I mean, there was everything out there. It was like a Frosty the Snowman, there was a Santa, there was Hulk hands, there was like volleyball, a beach ball.
yeah.
You put the Hulk hands
Having
on,
fun,
and you go in
man.
the pit, and
Having
you
fun.
start wailing people with the Hulk hands. It was great, man. It was a blast.
Nice.
it's important to have fun too, man. Definitely.
That's
I
the
think
most
that
important part.
There's some people
Yes,
that come out to shows
yes.
now that might
Have
might
fun,
have been
man.
around not that long,
That's what it's
whatever,
about.
and maybe not know really how it really should be.
And they think they got something
And
to
they think they
prove.
got something to prove, and they want to come in and show somebody, like, hey, this is what I can
This
do.
is how I roll.
Maybe trying to gain respect, and they're just head
It's
hunting,
just-
whatever.
It's not the way to do it.
It's just the way to get
you know?
yourself hurt, like bad because like we're all friends. We all grew up
Scenes aren't
together.
supposed to be cliquey.
Everyone's
There's, people. Everybody's supposed to have fun. That's
Yeah,
the
we
point of the
definitely
show. And
Definitely got a cliquey scene,
we've dealt
for
with
sure.
that element around here, but for the most part, I would say like all that bullshit is dead and gone. It pops
Yeah,
up. Here
definitely.
and there.
Yeah, it does. Definitely pops up once in a while.
We got pretty good security too with some of the decent places, some of the good venues around.
Right,
Upstate
right.
Concert, they got pretty
People
tight
know.
security.
People who come around know just to
They see the body language. They see something going down. They're on them pretty quick.
Yeah.
But when we play out of town, other places too, it's similar.
Yeah.
Like it's not really. You don't really see too many, crazy shenanigans. Because
Palladium was strict, man.
Palladium was
Palladium's a
strict.
strict place. They're
I mean,
really
definitely
strict
good.
on alcohol.
Definitely a great club. A great
It's
place.
funny, brick by brick, Mike and Sean in here were talking about that. He said
Mike.
they're not allowed to drink until an hour before they go on at the Palladium.
Yeah, they're pretty strict about the Palladium.
If you look at all
shitty,
drunk
you're not getting
at
it.
all,
No, just they know them. They've played there a lot.
Right,
And they know
right.
their
Oh yeah.
their shenanigans. They're like, yeah. So we were up at the bar trying to get a drink, and bartender looks over at the security, and he's like, "What was that?"
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
they're
Palladium's
definitely
funny like that.
Sean,
but,
Sean.
gotta do
The
what
last
you
time
can.
we played with Brick by Brick was Amsterdam.
Oh
Got up
yeah,
on
And like
stage.
Mike was like up there like Sean. And Sean was like they're trying to play and like Sean's nowhere.
He got up.
All of a sudden he just comes running and
then
he's
he comes
running.
running.
It was,
Picks up the
yeah,
pace.
Chris Kostakis was up
Yeah,
on,
right,
on stage
right.
getting
I
ready
thought-
to fill in.
right.
That was
And here
crazy.
comes Sean.
He's like I didn't know. I don't know. It was just funny.
That's funny shit.
They killed it though.
Oh yeah.
I think one of
Extra
the
Slam's a
epic
good
times,
time.
for maybe not crazy time, but epic time was the time when was it the first Whitechapel show when he came up. You handed him the mic, he went down into the crowd.
Oh yeah, I mean I had
We have that.
probably-
We actually have that on video,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is so sick. When
Probably had,
Joel,
like,
Joel took the mic and the place just went apeshit. to
four
infection.
or 500
that
people,
was
man,
good.
just
Yeah.
rising and
And
like
then
hands.
they were
It's
chanting.
insane.
After that, dude, they were chanting. And they cut us. We couldn't play anymore. It was like
Yeah.
our set time was up, but the crowd was chanting. Like they were just totally
Oh,
ready
yeah,
for
We
That
hung
it.
with the
that
guys
was a
back
fucking
in
blast.
Whitechapel and back there, and get to talk to them guys.
Yeah.
Play with them what 3-4 times now, or whatever, and
Yeah, I think-
they're all just really cool dudes, and it's cool when you get to meet
That-
people
that
that
was
you
a
looked
fun
up
show,
to, or
yeah.
you love their music, and you get to
Yeah.
meet them, and they're down to earth. One dude's in the back cutting hair,
Yeah.
cutting everybody's hair before they played. He's like a barber and shit,
Nice.
So just it's cool. See how all other
Yeah.
bands live on the road.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep healthy and work out and get their exercise in, and the other guys kind of go off and have peaceful time where they can kind of
Yeah.
You
a little
know,
bit of quiet time
right,
before
exactly.
the chaos.
doing it night after night is tough. for
That's
sure.
the craziest
sure.
part about it, man. Watching them guys do it and then still being like, yes, I want to do that.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna cut away here real quick, and we're gonna go to another band that I had gotten referred to by Malika from Abnormality and Parasitic Extirpation. There, she's got a new album or a new label called Ultimate Massacre Productions, and she sent me a comp with a few bands on it. So we're gonna get into one of them. This is Human Decomposition, and the song is called "Descending into Human Decomposition."
Fuck.